I want to quickly go through everything. Now, gold's been on a tear, silver disappointing, up a little bit, but basically sideways. And I really expected silver to be higher with gold nearing 3,000. Now, first of all, the DXY, we know it came down and that helped gold. But to be honest, when we bounce, I thought we'd bounce. Gold has not really declined much, which is just wonderful. We're invincible. It's as if gold just is like a magnet to 3,000. And I don't know, we'll probably top at three just before 3,000. Today could be, I kind of feel like the reach for 3,000 that we don't make because I mean, whether we make it or not, it's the same thing. We've just gone all the way up. And then we'll probably reverse a bit and we'll see. But let's see. DXY doesn't really matter. Gold is on a tear regardless. Let's look at yields. Yields have been bouncing with the dollar. Again, it doesn't really matter for us. Interesting, the 2 year, if that breaks out. Right, let's look at gold and silver. Today, especially this morning, we just breached 2,900. Yesterday was a very good day. I mean, I'm making the video the day after. This morning so far, we've squeezed to 2,940 overnight, coming back down. Let's see what happens midday. I feel like, we're at 3,000. What's the difference between 2,940 and 3,000? Zero, no percent. Actually, what is the difference? 1%, who cares? It's the same thing. So we basically hit 3,000. And that's beautiful. And we'll probably retest 2,780, 2,800 just below, right? This scene of the crime breakout zone. And then we'll probably go back up on a tear with some sort of catalyst with the DXY going down. Silver, though, look at that. I mean, you can see now how obvious 3230 was as resistance. We've just been unable to close above it on a daily. And look at this today so far. Okay, gold sort of given back a lot of its gains, but silver again weak, even red right now. Yesterday, despite that amazing day in gold, look at that massive resistance basically. Gold closed at high of day. It's just so much resistance at 3230. I've had this line in for weeks now. I didn't think it'd be that significant, but yes, it is because as soon as you close above 32, let's call it 3240 just to be sure, then it's, a B line all the way to 35. But that's a kind of big move still. So what needs to happen for that? I mean, you do see days, look at that, it's almost 8% move. You do see days where silver is up 2% and gold is up nothing, half a percent. I feel like you need one of those days where it's silver that just decides today, like today's my day. I don't really want to count on gold going to 3,200 just for silver to start going towards the 3,250. It's disappointing, right? And if gold starts to retrace, silver could end up down here just at 31. That will be annoying, but maybe it needs that. Maybe you need a little mini washout, and then next time it goes up, it's got that, that strength, that relative strength. All right, let's check real quick the miners. I'll start with GDX. This is getting good. GDX especially. Look where we closed yesterday on the line. I mean, this is very good, right? Especially after that Friday last week. That was a bad close. And look at that, jumped up. Obviously, gold had a beautiful day. We're basically at the last line of resistance before the old high of 44. And remember what happened? Like, remember we were all the way down here, and to think of, I mean, this was a bad moment, right? Gold hadn't even come down that much. But look what we've done. We've basically just gone up a steep incline. It's really impressive. And what happens if gold retraces? I mean, so far it's up a little bit. If gold retraces, we'll come down. We come down to 40 or something. We could even retrace down to 39. And it could just be a healthy retest before we then go back up and go all the way up. But at the moment, this is like a squeeze looking move. This is extremely steep. And you know what? It doesn't take much to go to 44. I sold some yesterday. It's just been too good. And for me, just trim, 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 nothing heavy. Just trim, trim, trim. Make sure you have nice sidelines, 5% move until you make the old high. If it goes back up there, I'm trimming that too. I'm just trimming on the way up. I've seen this many times. If we come back down, I'll be very happy. GDXJ, pretty good, right? It's been underperforming, but that's pretty good actually. Now we're also quite close. How much of a percentage move? That's kind of the same as 5% for GDX. Very good. Same thing. If we retrace, we come back here, it may overshoot because that's actually not too far down. Could overshoot, but it's looking healthy, right? It's definitely made up for its underperformance when it was down here. SILJ though, I was expecting more, but it makes sense because silver hasn't done anything really special. It should, Yeah, you just need silver to go up and this thing will start to squeeze and catch up. The good news, I don't know about you guys, but my portfolio is like half a good day away from old all-time highs, right? And I got SILJ down here. So respective to my portfolio value, this should be like here. Should be like just one okay day away from old records when we were over here. So I look forward. If silver starts to squeeze, my portfolio is going to be making new highs by a long shot. So it's kind of good. But still, you just need silver. You need silver to go up for this to go up. And SIL, I didn't check that one out. That's pretty good. That makes sense, right? It's kind of like the GDX of the silver stocks. That's quite good. That's a breakout zone. And you can see how the resistance works, right? The descending and the horizontal, pretty clear stuff. And you can see the resistance, the rejections, the sort of, yes, we're ready to break out. We need confirmation from silver to go up. And that's what you need. For SILJ, for SIL, you need silver to just have one of those days where it says, okay, now I'm ready. The stubbornness is over. And then we'll pump. And then you'll get your first Majestic plus 9% days, which we haven't had. Let's move to the portfolio. Portfolio was a good day yesterday. It's just silver, goddamn silver. Now Newmont has been doing its thing, right? Up 3.5%, kind of outperforming the GDX because it's kind of been underperforming and then outperforming a little bit, and now we closed at a resistance, right? Resistance is very hard for me at Newmont, but I trimmed right here. It's probably just a 46, I don't know. But I've got this as an area and it's had a good day, right? 3.5% closed near high of day. Next move, I think next resistance is more obvious than the last couple of two. It's around here, 49, right? 48.89 or something is where you sell if you want to make sure you get filled. 5%, that will probably equal GDX going all the way back up to its old highs. So you're probably reaching old highs in GDX with Newmont here. It'll be a shame if we retrace because it's such a good candle. But I think it'll be strong if we do bounce. And now actually this is your support. It's more obvious. So that's Newmont. There are the levels. Boom, boom, on the way up, on the way down. Looks pretty simple and it's okay. And again, GDX is like 5% from its old highs and you've got Newmont all the way down here. So that's kind of cool. And Newmont will definitely climb if we make new highs and it's in the mood to go to 52. But it's time to trim on the way up too. I hope you guys are trimming just in case. Barrick Gold, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I haven't even touched my charts. I didn't even touch my charts. I went out last night. It's good to have my good till cancel sell orders. I saw all these sales coming in. So yeah, nailed this one. 1767, you can see why. Look at all those daily candles, resistance. So it touched it. It closed red, but it's okay. 2.5% for Barrick Gold is good. It's hardly done a big move, but for Barrick, we'll take it because it's been weak. If we keep going up, I mean, it might take quite a lot now to close above this yesterday's high day. If we keep going up, I've got the next level here. Here I'm selling, I might start selling a bit more aggressively because I'd find it so difficult for Barrick to just take out all these little resistance. You probably need gold at like 3,200 for it to be up here. And I reckon it'll retrace quite strongly too. It could come back down to 1650. And I just don't like to see that. I'm still a bit too heavy in Barrack and it's just not good enough. It deserves to be spread elsewhere. So trim Barrack on the way up. Agnico-Eagle, what do you expect? Over 100 now. There is no resistance. You just trade it according to GDX and gold. If gold's going to drop and you want to trim some Agnico, just trim Agnico as just a runaway train. If we come back down, I would say it's going to return here, but Agnico doesn't make big drops. It doesn't do minus 10% days unless there's bad news, and there's basically never bad news. This is just a squeeze. Don't buy, you know, hold and trim on the way up. But what am I doing? I don't know. I trimmed my last trim was just 99.99. I was so sure it was gonna do it, or 99.89, whatever. Same thing. And now I'm just like holding what I've got, and it's worth a monumental amount. These trims have been so small in value because I know it just keeps going up with gold. So basically, it's the perfect stock, and it will just keep going up. That's what I really believe. And if it drops a lot, buy it. You know. Next one is Pan American. Okay, this is pretty good. It's a silver stock, right? Pretty good. It's basically the best one. It also closed at resistance. That's despite silver not making a colossal move. Next up is up here. It'll probably do it on the smallest move up in silver. It could even do it without silver. It could just run with the GDXs. 3%. It's outperforming GDX. That's how good it is. Perfect silver stock, right? The breakout was beautiful. My last trim is at 25.99, just below this old high. And after that, we need to start looking at the next levels. It's ridiculous. I've got it. And after that, it's going to be all the way up here, 30 bucks. Boom. You close above 20, 26, you basically run to 30. And that's if silver starts to make a move, if silver gets to its old high of 35, Pan American silver will be above 30. It'll probably be up here. It's just, it deserves to be up there. So perfect. Any retest, it'll retest probably 24.30. You buy that, fill the gap, buy that. Next, Wheaton testing its old highs, outperforming GDX. Perfect touch of resistance. To be honest, between 68 and the absolute high 68.50, it's the same thing. If you think gold's going to drop and you want to trim below 68, 67.99 or 89. I always like my 89. If it comes back down, this is now irrelevant. It'll make its way down to 64. It probably won't get there. It's very strong. It'll just make new highs. Wheaton, Agnico, Pan American Silver, those three are absolutely beautiful. You know, really good buy the dip candidates. Next is Metalla. Metalla. I bet none of you guys could imagine what it would take to get all the way up here. And it's starting to make up for it. Now, I trimmed this. Yes, I got that little 339. For me, it was 340. Okay, here it says 342, but I basically closed. I did a 339. I like my 1 cents below the big numbers, you know that. So I actually trimmed just there, 339. That was beautiful. And now we're stuck between this range. Finally, we're done with the 250s. What the hell was that about? And now we're stuck here. Remember, there was bad news, so you can't just go all the way back up. That's why I was happy with trimming here. I think if we drop a little bit, we'll be at 320s, maybe just below. It might just undershoot, depends on gold or GDX or whatever. But there, we've got our new resistance lines, right? We're within this little channel. And if we go back up with gold and silver, whatever, mainly gold, then we run towards this area, 370. Again, I got 372, but it's probably 370. So sell at 369. But it takes a lot to go all the way back up and, go back higher than before the bad news was reported. So I expect strong resistance around this area already here. But it's pretty good. It's made up for some bad performance the last couple of days. That's been pretty good. So we'll take that. Next one, First Majestic. Jesus, talk about bad. This is bad, right? I mean, we should be absolutely at 680 or higher. I know silver's been underperforming. This is ridiculous. This I have no words for. I don't even know if there was bad news. I almost hope there was bad news because that would make up for it. But now you've got, I mean, you could say you've got support at 560, right? A little mini support. If we have a down day today, which you could have that little like topping candle in gold or whatever. I mean, you're going to come down here. What you need now is you probably need First Majestic to go down, bounce, outperform everything on the on the drop day. So if imagine everything's down like 1-2%. So imagine everything's down like 2%, 250 or 1.5%. But First Majestic is down 0.5%. It's outperforming on the way down. That's probably what you need now, so that when we have the next bounce, it starts to go back up and close above 6. We need to close above 6 like this day. And this day, I really thought we'd follow up. And you just need continuation. And we need silver for that, unfortunately. But, gold's already made a big move. So I just think, and a lot of these stocks have the same problem. You just need silver to perform. So we need an outperforming down day and then silver to perform. But this is horrible, to be honest. We don't want to see it drop much on a down day. That's probably the only silver lining. All right, Fortuna. That really pissed me off. That's Majestic. Fortuna, though, look at that. That's outperforming. So we broke out of this descending. We kind of retested, and look at the close. That's beautiful. That's like a small update in Fortuna, and we're going to test 550. And 550, I think, is very important. A close above 550, we immediately close the gap. On any move up in silver, we're like closing the gap. And you know what? if we have any decent day with silver, like we're running towards 35 for sure, Fortuna is all the way back up here and actually going to new highs. This looks very strong relative to silver, and it's been strong for a while actually. There was just that one bad day there. Friday was a bad day, but it made up for it today. So it's good to see Fortuna sort of following gold, to be honest. It's very nice to see. All right, Kel Darlene. I thought it would be a bit better. Especially yesterday, it should have done it should have done a bit better, you know. But still, we'll take it. Silver was not very strong. At least it was, right? It was a plus day, I think. Yeah, of course it was. It closed there the day before on Friday. But at least it seems to be quite a lot of resistance at 7:30. I think I've moved a little sell at 7:26 actually just now. I'm just gonna do, there's three mini sells. I got like 7:26, probably 7:49, 7:69. Just boom, boom, boom in case we make another move because I feel like there's quite a bit of resistance there. But if silver makes a move, this thing is squeezing to 8 to 950 to 10 and all that. I just want that one trim because it's still my heaviest silver stock. Love it. I know it's going all the way up, but yesterday, I'll be honest, it was a little weaker than I thought it would be despite silver and silver crest just matching it and sort of outperforming it. You can see we need one or two good silver days and we're basically at new highs with both of them. Hecla, bit like Fortuna, new high close, out of resistance, just a small, basically it's looking for any excuse to move up to 660. So Hecla, and it's not really been great down here, but I don't know, yesterday I just realized all of a sudden, wait a minute, Hecla's looking like it wants to run a bit, which is cool. We know how low SILJ is, so if these start to run and outperform SILJ and silver starts to move up, it's going to be outperforming the ETFs, which is kind of my goal here to outperform the GD, and I do. All right, EXK. I should have spoken more about Hecla, but it's just all is good. EXK, not as bad as First Majestic, but you can see very stubborn here at 415. I think I've moved a mini sell at 414 just in case we keep failing and then we go down. At least I can say that I trimmed a bit more here and buy back basically. There's that little gap filled there, 380, just below 380. It could just bounce there and then so, you know, like we visit 376, we fill the gap, and then we bounce, and we probably close above 380, and then we move back up if there's a drop in gold and silver, which today could be like the reversal day because we've had a crazy day, a crazy last couple of days. But otherwise, next move up is pretty clear for me. It's 460, right? That's your level. This is a bit less, probably 420 is your resistance, really, but I'd sell just before. So underperforming EXK, it needs silver, right? There are some stocks like First Majestic, EXK, they just seem to need silver to make a big move to go through. But others like Hecla and Fortuna, which we just saw, they're doing quite well without silver. So imagine with silver. Mag Silver, this was okay. It was actually a bit weak during the day. We just need that. Actually, looking at First Majestic and EXK, this is quite good, right? 3.5%. We need a close above 1670, and then we can basically run to the old highs like Pan America. 1750, I got a little resistance, and then obviously here, $18, there's resistance. I'll rearrange the yellow stuff during the weekend maybe, but looks good, right? If there's any moving, even gold, let alone silver, this thing should start moving up. So Mag Silver looks good still. If there's a retest, you've got this little support here, right? 1560, you can see there's support and maybe a little gap, 1540. I think this will hold, even if we have a down day, it'll kind of do okay, it will curl, go back up. So this one, if silver starts to fly, this one was making new highs before the market ETFs. Aris Mining, you can see this line, right? Support, kind of support here, resistance here, resistance here. So this area here is resistance. I trimmed yesterday 409. I kind of dropped that one in. Where is it? 409, whatever here. So that should be resistance. If it comes back down, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'll leave this here. I need to make this a bit pretty. Yeah, between 409 and down there maybe. It's a bit hard to tell where support will be if it starts to come down. Maybe there's something like this. Or maybe I should just leave it and just let it do its thing. Yeah, it's okay. You know, I think it had bad news. So, you know, sell the big move up because when there's a move down in the metals, a stock that's had bad news will come down. buy it back. I'm just holding and trimming. There's nothing. It's a very light one actually compared to how it used to be. So, but we're at resistance, and the next resistance I've got this descending. So in case we pop off, I think it's I think you got resistance there. All right, next one is I am gold. This one beautiful resistance. 660 is resistance. You can see that. Again, we visited, and we just got a bit of a problem breaking out. And with gold, this is more following gold. If gold has a reversal day, I mean, this thing, I can see go down to 590, to retest breakout zone, pick it up, curl, and go back up, and then break out with more momentum and basically run for seven. If gold keeps squeezing and visits 3,000, this will probably be at $7. It's forced to just go with gold, but you can see not up that much, underperforming, a bit tired, needs to come down, but very good performance otherwise. Next, B2 gold. Weak, bad news, but it's at least it's going up with gold. Nothing crazy today. Me, next resistance is here. I'm not selling until it goes up, up, up. This is something I'm holding for months, and I expect it to be in the threes, and then I'll probably just dump it or dump half of it. I don't know. It's good dividends, but it's just I don't like the geopol. I don't need that in my life. Agnico-Eagle is something I can depend on, right? I'm looking at gold and the miners. I'm basing it on the charts. And Agnico I can count on more than some, African conflict and geopolitical tensions and some corruption. Don't need that. So I'll probably trim if we keep going up slowly, probably, and just throw it into more credible mines, if I can say that. Equinox, amazing. $7 is in sight. It's basically testing $7, which makes sense. This you can count on to go up every day with gold. So another one that I would prefer to be in rather than, you know, rather than B2 gold, rather than Barrick gold. This one's been beautiful, great support, resistance, boom, boom, high highs, high lows. Took out this 650 with a vengeance, bit of sideways retest, and now it's sort of grinding high with gold. You can tell it's probably a bit tired. So time to take profit. I don't know if I trimmed this yesterday. I hope I did. I should have. Maybe I've got 699, but I should have. See, 689. What if today we have a red day and we go back down? That's why the 89 is better than the 99 sometimes. But yeah, Equinox at resistance, very good. If it comes back down, you've got support at 650. If there's some strong move down in gold for whatever reason, you've got 610, and then this will bounce very strong. So SSRM, I need to move it out of my list. I don't own it anymore, right? I sold the last at 949, this big squeeze. You can see it's coming back down, based around $9. Makes sense. It's a level, it's just a number. And now it wants to curl and retest and break out and go test 10. But it's got a bit of problem here. I mean, a bit of resistance, which makes sense because it's the gap fill zone. So I think that the lines I drew were really good. Actually, this is where I was selling on the squeeze. 9 here, 930, and then all the way up gap fill after. So if you guys still hold SSRM, good for you. Well, yeah, good for you. Just, it's done its move. And if we have a move down, well, it'll go down like everything else. So far, it's okay. It's not exactly had a red day after a squeeze, so it's okay. SBSW broke out of this. Needs, yeah, it needs to gather some strength to go back all the way up here. 430 is next resistance, but if gold, if the metals, if commodities go back down, it'll probably go back down. Also, it kind of has to. All right, that'll do. That was actually longer than I thought, but it looks beautiful. I feel like we might have a bit of a sideways red day because we have such crazy moves, but the portfolio is extremely nice. And if silver starts to move, it's easily new highs. But otherwise, I'm like half a good day from new highs, so I can't complain. All right, good luck. Enjoy.